We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are back from a long vacation. It was much needed. We were in Mexico, just enjoying the weather and just spending quality time with family, and glad to be back. Sorry we didn't make the announcement. We just had to get up and get out. But you okay? You guys are okay? I think you're okay. But we're glad to have you back. There are a lot of comments coming in saying, hope you had a great vacation. Danielle, did you enjoy yourself?
I enjoyed myself. It was just nice to unplug as much as I could unplug. We're never 100% unplugged yet. We're getting there. But it was fantastic. The weather was beautiful. And my favorite was going under those underwater caverns and looking into the cenotes, those underground lakes. I wish we had a picture to share how amazing God is, that there are actually places in the world. We went to Tulum, where there are bodies of water that are just under the earth, crystal clear, clean. You could actually drink it. I wouldn't drink it, but you could actually drink it. And just the most beautiful structures and crystals hanging above you. It was just incredible. And the kids got to see that. So that was my favorite.
Yeah, we had a great time. So listen, guys, thank you so much for your patience and hanging in there. I heard that the practitioners that we have for Ask the Experts did an amazing job this week. So we want to give props to them. But listen, guys, no matter where you're tuning in from, we want to know where you are, what city, what state, what country. Make sure you take a moment and what?
Oh, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Hey, it came up a little bit later on my side to make sure that you don't miss a show, guys. We really appreciate you sharing this message across the world. And it's working, guys. There's more and more couples being reached every day. So thank you and keep up the good work.
Couple quick announcements before we get started. As you know, February the 11th through the 13th is the Last Chance Weekend. We are ready to go. There are people who have registered. We're almost at full capacity, guys. So make sure you register. We have a few slots left. Let me show you this quick video. For those of you who are not familiar with it, stay right there. Be right back. That's right. That's the Last Chance Weekend. We are excited about it. And this is going to be uniquely special because it is Valentine's Day weekend. So we're going to do something really unique for the couples that are there. So listen, if you're on the fence, if you're vacillating back and forth, you don't know what to do, listen, do it, because doing nothing will get you nothing. Doing the same will get you more of the same. But when you do something new and do something different, you're guaranteeing something new and different in your relationship.
Yeah. Wow. Like looking at those couples, I just definitely feel a personal connection to them. And, you don't spend 3 days investing and pouring into people and walk away and not have some connection and some bond. And so all those faces, don't you agree that they become family? You feel connected to them and you're completely vested in their success. So that's one of the powerful things about Couples Academy is that, I mean, you do leave here, but you never leave our hearts. You never leave our community. And that's one of the blessings of working with Couples Academy that most people will point out is that they left out of here with a brand new community of
Yes.
love and support. And that's real.
Absolutely. All right, guys, listen, let's jump into today's topic. We're talking this week about the pain of infidelity. This is a topic that we cannot exhaust because oftentimes when we hear stories, when we get discovery calls, when we are in sessions, one of the resounding things that continues to come up is the pain. Not just the pain of the betrayed spouse, but the pain of the unfaithful spouse. It has an impact on everybody involved, not just those in the relationship, but the pain that the children go through, the pain of those who are part of that community. Everybody feels it in some way, shape, or form. And the struggle is, I don't know what to do with this pain. And so we want to take our time and kind of walk through it. I came across some statistics that I thought were not just statistics, but just stories. When we talk to people who have come to us, we heard somebody say, my affair happened 35 years ago, and I'm unwilling to trust again. 35 years, that's a long time. My betrayal happened 40 years ago, and I still feel the hate for my spouse. My betrayal happened 15 years ago, and I feel gutted. Statistically, Danielle, they say that it takes upwards of 2 years to heal from the pain of an affair if work is being done.
And that's the key. That's the key, because most people think that time is just going to heal the wound. The longer I drift away from this situation, the quicker I'll heal. This is not true. And that's because what happens is we become emotionally anchored to the hurt and the pain. And depending on who you are is how you'll handle it. So some of us will suppress the pain, right? Some of us bury it. And we actually never had an opportunity to deal with the pain. You might have been in a relationship with someone where you were rushed through the pain and you were told, hurry up and get over this, get yourself together. You should be over this by now. And not only do our unfaithful partners oftentimes tell us that, but actually well-intentioned friends and family tell you that too, right? Yeah. So they say to you, hey, you should get over this by now. Listen, it's been 3 years, get over it. Like, you're still with your husband. He's doing the best he can. He might, or she is doing the best she can. They might be doing the best that they can, but if you never have the chance to properly heal, that wound is still very much alive, like an infection, right? Asani, I was talking about this the other day. There's this, the analogy of a root canal gone bad, right? Somebody does a root canal on you and they leave a little bit of nerve in there and then they go ahead and seal it and cap it. And so you have a brand new tooth and everything looks shiny and good, but you still have an aching, throbbing, incomplete root canal going on. So you can't move past the pain until you look at that pain, unearth the pain, take the pain out, right? Take the cap off and dig in there and get the rest of that root. And that's what many of us are dealing with.
Danielle, you hit it right on the head. And that's something that many people can relate to. And so whether the pain is in your tooth, whether the pain is in your toe, whether the pain is somewhere internally within you, if you don't take the time to address it, it will get worse. I mean, I kind of think about, this is a different analogy, but think about driving a car and you see the light pop up on your dashboard and you're like, it's no big deal. I have more time. And you keep delaying and delaying and delaying. And a simple, quick fix that may have cost you a few dollars now costs hundreds or thousands, and it turned into something major because you never took the time to address it. And I think that, hearing about somebody who's been betrayed 15, 30, 45 years ago and still seething in anger or the inability to trust, things of that nature, it's because possibly the correct work wasn't being done. And we say this all the time, like, you also have to be careful who you go to. Like, the more we do discovery calls, the more we hear, well, I'm working with a therapist. Well, do they specialize in even marriage? I think I think they do. So it's just like we're not even going to qualifiable people. And so we wonder why the pain is still here. And Danielle came across these statistics. Listen to this. 67% of people prevent themselves from forming deep relationships because they fear being hurt again. 84% of people have an inability to trust. 90% want to move forward but just don't know how. Once again, we're talking about people who just have decided, I'm going to do it on my own. I'll read a book, I'll watch a podcast, I'll figure it out along the way, and things get progressively worse. These statistics are incredible.
They are. And I think it's interesting because, of course, after infidelity, you're struggling to trust, right? And it's almost like reaching out and extending yourself to love someone. The byproduct of loving someone is literally living on the edge and opening yourself up to hurt. Like you can't have one without the other. And this is how you have people in relationships and they're so guarded and there's a wall between them and they don't have, they can't connect emotionally. They seem disconnected and aloof. It's because they've been wounded. And so they're afraid to extend their heart. How do you fully give yourself, your heart to someone in that, if you're holding that position? So I think it's interesting that, people are afraid to trust again and lower that drawbridge of trust and welcome people into their lives in that way because of the hurt. But that in and of itself causes hurt in your current relationship because you can't fully give of yourself. It's like this perpetuating issue over and over again, all stemmed from somebody trying to protect themselves from previous hurts.
Very, very true. Hey, guys, we're talking about the pain of infidelity. You're watching the Couples Academy show. We'll be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned so that we can go deeper into the conversation.
Couples Academy is committed to serving couples around the world by reaching beyond cultural lines and language barriers. We are proud to announce that we now serve the Spanish-speaking community. So whether you're here in the United States or abroad, Couples Academy has a place for you.
Couples Academy se compromete a servir parejas de todo el mundo, superando las fronteras culturales y las barreras del idioma. Ahora, estamos orgullosos de anunciar que servimos a la comunidad de habla hispana. Entonces, ya sea que estés aquí en los Estados Unidos o en el extranjero, Couples Academy está aquí para servirle.
Welcome back, everybody. You are watching the Couples Academy show. Sorry, babe. I'm jumping in to do my job. I want to welcome some people this morning. I want to say hello to Nina Wright. Thank you for the well wishes. We did get some rest. Vashawn, good morning, dialing in from Chicago. Derek is with us. Walter Valentine is with us. That's Walter and Rhonda. Cali Power Couple, good morning, all the way from California. Shalise Oliver is with us from New Jersey. Fedlina Franco is in Las Vegas. Ralph Welsh, Jaguar Rose, Marilyn, good morning to you. Hey, Jewel, good to see you, and we'll see you soon. Ralph is with us, and so many more. So, guys, thank you again for joining us and dropping. I cannot miss Kagiso joining us all the way from South Africa, and also Carlos tuning in from Manchester in the UK. Wait a minute, we got Geisha all the way in St. Kitts. I got to call this out because we are spreading this message internationally, guys, and I really appreciate you. We cannot do this without you, so we want to acknowledge all those that are tuning in from all over the world.
Absolutely. Listen, good to have you all in. Let's dive deep into this conversation.
We got one more, Hassani.
Okay.
Somebody's tuning in from Brazil.
Oh, shucks.
From Brazil, yes.
Why do you have to say Brazil? Like Brazil.
You got to say it. Roll that tongue.
Well, listen, we're glad that we're making impact all over the world because we all have something in common. We're all trying to figure out how to make this thing called marriage work. We've been doing marriage wrong for so long, and now we're trying to figure out how to do it right.
Everybody's trying to drop everybody wants to floss now, Hassani. We got I think Deanna's from Switzerland just dropped that in there. I'm in Switzerland. We got Trinidad and Tobago tuning in all over. Wow. That's
love
amazing.
You guys. We really do. Let's get into this. The pain of infidelity. We're going to go through some things that we want you to be mindful of. Number one, when we're dealing with infidelity, betrayal is relational. Like, for instance, betrayal, when something happens to us, the reason why we say it's relational, because the further away the relationship is, like, for instance, if it's a stranger and they do something, the impact of it isn't as great as if it's someone that you know. Now, obviously, infidelity is one form of betrayal, but betrayal shows up in many different ways. There could be a betrayal of trust, a betrayal of some type of behavior where you were expecting something and something didn't happen. But then, of course, we're dealing with infidelity. And so the closer you are to that particular person, like if my sibling hurt me, it's a different pain than if my parent hurt me, which is a different pain than if my child hurt me, which is a different pain than if my spouse hurt me. Now, what's interesting, talking with many of our clients, there are certain personalities, Danielle, and you know this, who are quick to cut people off. They will cut siblings off, parents off, kids off. But when they experience the pain from their spouse, they're not quick to cut that relationship off. So it's a shock to the person who is still there. They're like, oh my God, by the grace of God, I'm still here. I can't believe it because my wife or my husband is quick to cut everybody off. They haven't cut me off, but I'm the one who's hurt them the most. And I can experience the pain that they're going through. And I just don't know what to do, and I don't know how to get over it. But I think it's important to realize that the closer you are, like you've established a committed covenant relationship, you've given vows to that person. So when the hurt comes from a spouse, it's a deeper hurt than any other hurt.
Agreed. I mean, we leave our home, we leave our family to cleave to our spouse, right? And so there really is, if you think about it, there's no other closer relationship, right? Your spouse, you are one with them. They are you. Right. And so you're not closer to your children. Like, who else are you closer to? Possibly God. And even when there's scriptures in the Bible that talk about, it's better to just be you and God, because once you get married and have children, you become a person of the world. And so who is closer to you on this earth other than your spouse? And so to be betrayed by your spouse, of course, you can't be betrayed by a stranger because they mean nothing to you. The closest person to you has betrayed you. And that's why it becomes so difficult. We have no problem cutting off family. Sometimes people cut off their mother, if they don't like the way that the person is acting and all these things. But it is so much harder to break apart that bond. When you become one, when you break it apart, parts of you break with it. And that's why it's so difficult.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Let's go to the next one.
Okay. So number 2, betrayal threatens our instincts. And here's a powerful analogy. Stranger danger, right? We have instincts about strangers, that they are dangerous, right? Well, when it comes to our instincts, we have a natural instinct to protect ourselves from outsiders. But when we get inside the confines of a relationship with somebody that we have built connection to, there's a belonging there. Our instincts lower. We're not in protection mode. Our guards are completely down. We are open. And so this is why it becomes so challenging, because it does threaten our instincts, because it's like, wow, this completely came out of left field. I never expected this out of this person. How did I miss this? It causes you to begin to question your own judgments and your intuitions about the person that is the closest to you.
Absolutely, Danielle. I mean, what you just said is so true in terms of the impact that it has on an individual in terms of their instincts, because it's just like, wait a minute, they begin to question their instincts about everything. Yeah. Do I feel the way I should feel? Do I still I don't even trust myself. Not only do I struggle to trust you, I don't even trust myself anymore.
Right.
Who have I become?
Right. And a lot of us are, our claim to fame is that we have the instinct. We know who's dangerous. We have a suspicion about this person, or these people aren't good for us. We have all these instincts that protect us. But when our guard is down, it is catastrophic. The person that's closest to us, we didn't have instincts about them. You know, we weren't guarded against them. We were wide open and we were defenseless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a comment here, powerful. It says infidelity is psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually devastating. Infidelity is not a mistake, but an intentional decision. A great deal of clandestine planning goes into the act of adultery. This is very true. This is very true. I think what you ultimately said, it's devastating, which actually goes to the next point, that betrayal is traumatic. You use devastating, but it's similar to this word traumatic, because you signed up for a life with another person that would be full of happiness, full of joy. And the last thing that you would expect is the person that you love to betray you. And so it brings everything into question. You question yourself, you question your spouse, you question the relationship. It puts really, the future looks bleak. You don't know if there's any possibility of anything ever being restored because of the level of trauma that you are personally going through. Now, when we talk about trauma, people experience trauma, all throughout their lives. When you were a child, you may have experienced something that was very traumatic, whether it was some type of injury that happened that was physical, emotional, relational. And so, but when you are in that committed, loving relationship, you signed up for something that you never thought would end up where you are right now. And so when she says it's emotionally and psychologically and physically and spiritually impactful, it certainly is. And so it's going to take work to overcome the pain that you're in. I don't want people to think that, now that it's happened, there's no getting beyond this. There's no restoring this relationship. There's no feeling happy and full of joy again. Many people have made it to the other side, but they had to go through a journey to get there. And Danielle, from my experience working with a lot of couples, no matter what side of the betrayal they're on, maybe they're the betrayed spouse or they're the unfaithful spouse. A lot of people just don't want to do the work. They want to snap their finger, it goes away. They want to blink like a genie and it goes away. They want to pop 2 pills, right? Wake up in the morning and hope that it goes away. And it doesn't happen like that. We live in a microwave society where we want things to happen fast. We'll just take a shot, just take a pill, just do this and it will go away. And it doesn't happen like that. And that's why they still hold on to their pain.
I agree. And I think, regarding betrayal being traumatic, I think it's important to say that, even in mental health communities, they are acknowledging a new term, post-traumatic stress, post-infidelity stress disorder. So we already know about PTSD, but most people haven't heard of PISD. And so when you experience trauma, it actually affects and changes you. It changes your psyche, your emotions, how you operate. It can be physical. People think that trauma is just, you went through something tough. No, I have become someone new as a result of it. There are all kinds of red flags that I didn't have. I have triggers that weren't there before. Like, this is what actually happens to someone. So when you start talking about, people not being able to get through it and get over it, and they're being rushed through it, and they're wondering why somebody is stuck and anchored to the pain, and it's been all these years and they haven't been able to get over it, is because they have had a traumatic experience. And betrayal does that to us. And it really hurts because, talking to couples all the time and listening to the hearts of the women that I deal with, it's like, I wish there was a way for us to give an example of the pain that you are about to bestow upon your spouse, your marriage, your family before they do it, so that they would run from this. Because what they don't understand is that once it's broken, you must go back and do the work and fix it before you can move on, before things can get back to better, because it'll never get back to the way it was.
But it can get back to the way it was, and it can even get better. What?
Better. Not the way it was, right? Because we don't want what it was. We want better.
That's true. I meant when things may have been good, right? But yeah, it's certainly better. And just as you broke down post-infidelity stress disorder, there's something else called post-betrayal transformation. Okay. And that's in essence what we're talking about. You can go through a spiritual, emotional, relational, and physical transformation after the betrayal, after the affair, if you are committed to doing the work. Now think about it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, 1 being, I'm not really interested, 10 being absolutely sign me up for this. What is your level of commitment to your personal transformation? Because nobody's going to be able to do it for you but you, right? What is your level of commitment? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to go all in and take a journey that will lead, even though you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side? That's what being an explorer is about. I'm willing to explore something new and different because anything has got to be better than where I am and what I'm dealing with right here, right now. And that's what we're all about here.
Yes, I agree. And this is why it's so important to get yourself into some good counseling. Like, some of y'all have been following us for years. As a matter of fact, at our last chance weekend, I got a chance to meet somebody who had been following us for, years, right? And so what are you waiting for? Because at the end of the day, if there is betrayal in your relationship, if you feel stuck, if you are still in pain, something that happened 10 years ago, there's only one way to heal, and that is to demo everything that is. Start with a clean slate. We're not going to take your broken, dilapidated building and put new paint on it and put windows in it and try to fix that up. We're not going to do that. We're going to demo everything that you ever thought. This is why it's important for you to be teachable so that you can unlearn what you thought and learn something new. And then it's brick by brick. You have to lay a foundation brick by brick. And you may not know what those bricks are. And that's why there is such a quantum leap when people come to the Last Chance Weekend. We don't have to say it. The results and the reviews and all the interviews that we do speak for us, but we get so much joy and fulfillment and watching a couple come through the door that is completely broken, hopeless. And for real, it's their last chance weekend, and turning that all the way around and letting them walk out of here with something brand new, a brand new foundation. So I encourage you guys, if you're going through something, reach out and inquire, what do you need to do to get yourself to the next Last Chance Weekend?
Danielle, what you said was key. We have to destroy and break down everything, because when a betrayal has happened, when any type of pain has happened in a relationship, people build walls. And those bricks are made with resentment and bitterness and hostility and anger and rage. And you're building these walls full of all these bricks. And so then you come, yes, we got to tear everything down. The wall that has been built up, and we have to build up a new wall, a wall that you build around the couple, protecting them from any pain and betrayal ever happening again. Unfortunately, walls have built up in between partners and relationships. So, it's almost like there's no intimacy and you two become impenetrable. There's no way to reach over and to extend over to the other side, because these walls are like 6-lane thick highways, right, in between a partner, and that creates the emotional disconnect.
And what's interesting is that some couples, one person, they welcome the demo, right? They're like, please crush all this mess and get this all out of my life. I am done with this. But then you have different personality styles that they are comfortable in their mess, right? They know exactly where all the things are in the midst of their mess. And if you go demoing their mess away, they won't know how to handle things. They don't know what to do. And so you have that in the relationship. You have that struggle and that pull back and forth with the two different personality styles. But the beautiful thing is that you both walk out of here with something that serves you both individually. Y'all, this is no joke. This marriage thing is no joke. And we spend a lot of time, we waste a lot of time in unnecessary pain.
You are absolutely right. So listen, guys, if you're trying to get out of the pain, why go into 2022 the same way that you are in 2021? Don't you want something different? Don't you want something new? Don't you want to enhance the level of your relationship? Now, we talk about the relationship with your spouse, but remember, you've got your own personal relationship with yourself. Yeah, we know the relationship with God, right? Many of you are believers. You go to church, you have some faith tradition, and great. But the relationship with yourself is all jacked jacked up. And so one of the things that we focus on not only is your marital recovery, but your individual recovery process, because many of you are broken, you're hurt, there's an unwillingness to trust, an inability to forgive, to extend yourself, to be open to an emotional connection with your spouse again. So there's some internal things that have to happen within you, and this is the pain that has happened as a result of betrayal. It has devastated so many areas of your life. And so we're saying do something different to get what it is that you say that you want. Listen, guys, we're going to take our time with this all week long. We're going to be delving into the pain of the betrayed spouse, the pain of the unfaithful spouse, just everyone that's impacted by it, and exactly what you need to do to transform your life and your relationship. Listen, guys, you're watching the Couples Academy show. We appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tonight for Ask the Experts. It's going to be a phenomenal one. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Couples Academy show. Love you guys. See you soon.